Welcome to the Troll Patrol live. It's a freaking Friday. You know what that means. I gotta break out the bong. Don't come in here using tired ass Bruce Pritchard shit. Whole bunch of shit to talk about tonight. The second presidential debate has now been canceled. Whole bunch of other shit going on. But before we get into that, I want to introduce one of the newest features to this show. So, for the longest time, I've called myself the New Media Messiah. I'm living up to that billing. Because now we are fully integrated with Discord. Now what that means is that if you go to our Discord server, and if you are to put an exclamation point Discord on any of the platforms that we're streaming on right now. Did I misspell it? It's supposed to give you a link to the Discord server. I fucked it up. We're still working all this shit out. It worked last night. I don't know what the fuck happened. But as you can see, anything I type in Discord shows up on all the platforms. Anything you comment on any of the 15 platforms you might be watching me on right now shows up in the Discord. And with just a flip of the switch, I'm now in the Discord voice chat. Anyone can pop in and debate me. It's a free-for-all. So truly revolutionary shit going on right here. Unfortunately, I can't send you a link, obviously. Or maybe it was because I was on Discord. Let's try it this way. Boom. So if you want to join the Discord server, the link is on all the channels in the comments right now. How fucking sweet is that? Uh-oh. Where's he at? That wasn't supposed to happen yet. Smokey's taking a nap right now. I'm sorry, that was supposed to happen on cue when Smokey wandered over here. Still got a bunch of new shit going on, obviously. But down to business. The presidential debate between Trump and Joe Biden has been canceled because the Trump campaign did not want to do the debate virtually. Before we get into that, let's go ahead and open up the phone lines. Oh, and I might want to give a plug. So I was cruising through the comment section of a local news site like I often do, and I came across this guy, and he was making comments about how the left never wants to debate uncensored, unedited. And I'm like, wait a minute, what? Huh? Ironically, I happen to do a show every night where I'll debate anybody, uncensored, unedited. And if you want to call in and debate me, the number is 917-830-4359. If you want me to hop into the voice chat on the Discord, just say so. Boom, I'm there. I will not turn down a challenge. And when I saw Old Gord is his name, when I saw Old Gord commenting about how he'll debate anybody and win, I'm like, well, I'm anybody, and I happen to do a show that's completely set up to do that. So hopefully on Monday night, Old Gord is going to join us. if he doesn't chicken out. We'll see what happens. Because, right-wingers are morons. And I have a feeling he might not show up. I hope he does, though, and we will have a very productive discussion. Now, the second presidential debate has been canceled because the Trump campaign did not want to do it virtually. The Biden campaign didn't want to be in the same room with this contagious piece of shit. And nobody could blame them. So there's all kinds of news surrounding this. We've got Bob Dole is tweeting out about the debate. I swear to you, I thought Bob Dole was dead. I thought Bob Dole died 10, 15 years ago. I could have sworn Bob Dole wasn't still alive. I thought it was one of those incidents, and that's the whole reason this caught my attention, was because I'm like, fucking Bob Dole? So I see the tweet, and I'm like, is this one of those things where it's like Herman Cain, somebody else is taking over his account? And now he's just tweeting dumb shit? But Bob Dole is saying they're being biased against Donald Trump, which this is just more evidence that the rot that is the current Republican Party has been there all along. I know there were other people like George W. Bush who says like he's not going to vote for Trump. I think all the living Republican presidents and the presidential candidate, all of them wouldn't vote for Trump last time. What's up? You just commented on my thread. What's going on? So I don't understand how he's accusing the debate commission of being biased. Nobody wants to be in a room with him. Uh-oh, we got a phone call coming up. Caller, you're on the Troll Patrol. What's going on?
Hello. Hold on, let me mute you. Caller. Hello, can you hear me?
I can. What's going on?
Dude, I just, commented on Bob Dole's tweet. My friend lives in Wichita, right? And she worked at Cessna back in February. She saw these jets coming in from, Germany with hazmat suits. And she got deathly ill, on Valentine's Day. The idiot that is Dole is just a sore note in our ass from anybody that's from Kansas.
I can imagine. He isn't.
Yeah, I've been to Bob Dole country, man. I've seen his hometown and all that stuff.
And he's 97 years old. What the fuck does he know about anything right now?
AF is what it is, right? Yeah, this whole thing I was discussing with another Twitch user yesterday. We were discussing these one politic issues. There was a book a while ago that was wrote. It was called "What's the Matter with Kansas" by Thomas Frank.
Indeed. Yes, very good book. Yes.
Yeah, and it's talking about the one-party issue state, and I'm following the Kansas election because I have a lot of friends out there, right? But you get outside of, say, Wichita or Lawrence, Kansas, Manhattan, Kansas, it's all, Christian, Bible Belt thumping, conservative, it's all one issue with them, right? So, me trying to explain to people I know in Kansas that are family members about wearing the effing mask and why people are having to work from home and everything was shut down, it could not compute in their head of why, the overloading of the hospital.
Now, I have only been to Kansas once, and it stunk.
You're lucky, man.
It stunk.
Honestly, there's a good channel, Nico Hayes. I forgot what Discord. What was it? Discuss Global. he's pretty funny. He goes after the sovereign citizens and stuff like that. But he's from Kansas, and so, you know, there are some smart people, but a lot of them left, like myself.
Where are you at now? If you don't want to say, you don't have to.
Geographically,
A region.
South.
Where? Southwest. Interesting.
Yeah, so I was the one commenting about the QAnon stuff. So you can always probe my brain on anything QAnon related.
Ooh, yes. Love it. How does QAnon intersect with what we're seeing now with the militia group
Okay.
in Michigan?
I'll try to explain it without confusing the audience and people. Okay, so QAnon started back, I want to say 2017, 2018, right?
It was shortly after Trump said the stupid shit about, like, the storm is coming or something.
It's after the Pizzagate stuff. So
Yeah.
Mike Cernovich and all his push, right? Well, Corsi, that's connected to Alex Jones and Roger Stone. Corsi and this lady named Tracy Beans were the ones that were pushing the QAnon agenda initially. How the QAnon connects to the offshoot militia dumb fuck is the VOP group. I know the IT guy that pulled the honeypot, and basically we have the IP addresses that connect Veterans on Patrol, the fake Valor guys down at the border outside of Tucson, Arizona, to the QAnon website. And that's how it connects. So you got the VOP group, which is Veterans on Patrol, the Stolen Valor guys, Screwy Louie, Dark Sky Watcher, those grifters. Screwy Louie was part of the Bundy Ranch thing. So after all this research, there's an IT offshoot, which is the Cicada 3301 group. You got the Ancient Alien guys with the Jordan Sather, where he's pushing the drinking bleach thing.
God damn, you're really down the rabbit hole, aren't you?
Oh, yeah. Well, the reason why, I knew somebody that was like the face of the conspiracy, and I knew he was full of shit. And ever since then, I've been after these motherfuckers. And I was the one, I was PMSing that day. I contacted Reddit with the Great Awakening board because Tracy Beans was one of the moderators. And anytime you would post something that was against their agenda, their message on the Great Awakening subreddit, they would block and ban you from that. That's right. So I was PMSing one day, and I wrote to Reddit, and I said, I think somebody might go postal, and they're making a buck off it. And in the process,
it's not a somebody. It's not a somebody thing. It's a whole group of them. There's a basket of them.
Alex Jones that initially started this push too. Corsi, Alex Jones, how Trump connects to Alex Jones, Corsi, Roger Stone. Are you starting to get the map here?
Oh, it's all an interconnected web. I'm absolutely with you.
Yeah, and then I keep saying, because you know how Alex Jones keeps pushing it on the elites, like the Rockefellers and the what's the other one they always say,
Soros. It's all a Jewish. It's words for Jewish conspiracy.
And deflection. Okay, so going back to Kansas, I'm from Kansas. Okay, I have a bone to pick with an industry and one of the richest families in the United States that's from Kansas. Mm-hmm. They also killed one of the nephews, ran over and killed my second grade classmate. So I've got a bone to pick with this group, and you'll know who I'm talking about when I mention the name. These guys, and Alex Jones will sidestep the question on who funds it, right? And the Q billboard is another good one. And how some of these political election people are online, talking about Q, and they're funding them. Koch Industries.
Oh, absolutely.
It's the Koch brothers. Well, I guess one's dead now.
Oh, one is dead.
Think about the history, right? This has been decades in the making with the Koch. So
it's absolutely insidious. So I was having an argument with a guy the other day, and he gave me this opinion piece, and I looked and saw where the guy came from. It was the Koch Industries. He worked for the Koch Institute.
I mean, back when Bush Jr. was in office, there was a book called Banana Republicans, and they talked about how Koch Industries under the Clinton administration, blew up 16 acres down in Texas and killed this girl, McCoy. And so the family sued, for millions or billions or whatever it was. And when the Bush administration got in, they knocked it down to like million or something like that. And the head EPA guy was one of the Koch Industries guys. And so that was the revolving door with the EPA back then.
Well, and that's what's fueling all of the propaganda that you see on Facebook and shit. It's all this Koch money and all these think tank institutes that are injecting this because they just want to keep us in tension.
Who's running for Heritage Foundation?
Exactly. That's one of the big ones.
So the think tanks are all connected to the Koch brothers. The Koch brothers are funding through the Heritage Foundation, like things like public broadcasting system, PBS.
Absolutely. And that's one of the reasons why the coverage on PBS has gotten so shitty over the last few years. Is because they've had to lean on corporate money more and more and more.
Okay, so
when I say few years, I mean like the last few decades. Over the last 40, 50 years, they've converted to taking more and more private money. And you can see the influence on their programming.
Well, okay, so let's go back to the Koch, right? So
I'll always go back to the Koch.
So have you heard the John Birch Society?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay, so John Birch, who was connected to Koch, and that's a very highly racist organization, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah. And so that goes into the intertwining of what we see now with the QAnon stuff tied in with Christianity, mixed in with some truth with the Epstein stuff, Save the Children, and the list goes on. And it's so many different, it's like whack-a-mole, right? There's so many offshoots. Part of it, I think, is a recruiting tool for the dum-dums. Part of it's the baby boomers that think they're researchers and, they're just getting grifted. And then part of it's the recruiting tool for the 3%er Oath Keepers, which connects to the Bundy Ranch standoff and all that shit.
Well, and they prey on like the disaffected veterans and shit that don't have an outlet for their, tools that they've been taught and drilled into their head.
They've also been, any kind of organization, we could say military, or we could say Church of Scientology. It's cult. That's what it is, right? And so they're indoctrinated into these thought processes and brainwashed. And so you get a lot of people that can't think critically, that, don't understand how the internet actually works. I see it daily in my day-to-day life, the amount of stupidity on the internet.
Well, I don't think it's so much not knowing how the internet works. It's not knowing like the insidious nature of the messaging that they're hearing. They're not able to discern what the motive is for the messages that are relayed to them. And there's so much bullshit on Facebook, and the bullshit outweighs any truth. But but people want to believe. When you get into that cult mentality, like they really want to believe that bullshit. It's a cognitive dissonance.
Yeah, the cognitive dissonance and the bias, and then it's also the groupthink mentality. So you have people that have these offshoot,
a sense of belonging,
thought processes. Back before the internet, it was a little weird to have one person here and there that would be like, kind of conspiracy. Now, anybody with a smartphone, a computer, a device that connects to the internet, they can browse, they can find their little niches, right? Their groups that support and fuel their thought process.
And then amplify each other. They feed off of it.
Yeah. Yeah, you can't argue logic with these dum-dums, basically.
You can't rationalize something, a position that somebody didn't come to rationally to begin with. You can't rationalize them out of that position.
Well, and I think some of it for the public schools, I kind of blame that too, because again, it goes back to Koch. You know who funds a lot of these colleges and the message and Kansas public education? Koch. And you wonder why the middle of Kansas and Bob Dole tweeting out the stuff he's tweeting it doesn't surprise you when you know what that guy is all about.
Well, you're hitting on the heart of it. It's what I always talk about. It's like capitalism is what you hate about everything. It's its influence on education that has corrupted it. It's not that there's some liberal plot, and that's what they use to divert attention. They talk about these liberal professors and this Marxist plot.
Well, they perverted Antifa. Anybody with half of a brain knows it's like anti-fascism. Fascism, what did we have in the 30s and the 40s? Nazism. Does anybody want to be under the rule of another dictator like Hitler? Authoritarian?
Yes. Yes. The answer to that is yes. There is a segment of our society that wants a strong-armed dictator to rule over them. And those people fucking suck.
But all the stuff that we've, fought against.
We call those bootlickers.
Yeah. But, I don't know. Like, my intelligence level just drops the IQ points when I have to talk to these dum-dums. But it's gotten so bad with the QAnon shit show and these militias. And it's, like, what was it? In Arizona, they had that Phoenix, the DNC got arson. And the guy
yeah.
Like, yeah. He's a QAnon guy. I went and dug through his tweets, right? And he was talking about QAnon. And a lot of this, and the FBI back last year, I believe, right? In Phoenix, they labeled them a domestic terrorist organization. Problem is, who's in office right now is not going to do stuff. They're encouraging incitement of hatred, these militia off-fringe groups. I've seen the most craziest videos. And if you look back at the history with the Bundy Ranch thing, they were saying a lot of things like patriots. They were using the same terminology they're using in the QAnon.
Well, see, that's the one reason I've come around to voting for Biden is because I actually want a federal government that would respond to me. Like, say, if I have a complaint I want to take to the FCC or the FEC. The FEC is not functional right now. You can't take a complaint to them. Nothing is functional. So I would just like to get back to having a semi-functional government so that I'm able to redress my grievances with them in an agency that would actually do it and is not just concerned with funneling public money into private hands, because that seems like I mean, we could have handled this pandemic a lot better. I mean, I was seeing it across the board. I stocked up on toilet paper right before they shut down the economy, right? I was like looking at my friends in South Korea, and they're showing me pictures of rationed ramen. I was like, I might need to go get some toilet paper from Costco. I just happen to have, like, I buy in bulk anyway, so I just happen to have like a 32 roll pack when it started. So I lucked out on that. But all right, we're going to get back to the rest of the show. I appreciate you calling in.
Have a good one.
And I appreciate you sending me that video on Discord.
Which video?
Oh, did you?
Yeah. Yeah, she's been a good girl, though.
She was entertaining.
Yeah, that's just another mess altogether. Yeah, but she's been a good girl. But, go through that guy's channel and, just give him a shout out so he gets some props. But he just mirrors the videos, so grab whatever you want to. He definitely showcases the crazy.
But please send any crazy you encounter over to me and have them call in.
Oh, yeah.
I love talking to the crazy on the phone. All right?
Oh, man. All right. Have a good one.
You too. Hell yeah. Fucking crazy ass QAnon people. They are morons. Just like fucking Bob Dole is an absolute moron. Lindsey Graham has caused them to have to scrap the South Carolina debate because this motherfucker won't take a test for COVID. Why? Because the entire Republican Party is ate the fuck up with it. They are all absolute dumb fucks. And Trump was on Sean Hannity last night actually coughing while trying to talk about how good he was. No, thank you. We want to see the video. Nope.
Now are incredible.
Here we go.
Remdesivir, but that's a little bit different, works much differently, actually. But these things are absolutely incredible. I think I'm going to try doing a rally on Saturday night if we have enough time to put it together. But we want.
I'm going to put money on that rally does not happen.
Night. Might come back and do one in Pennsylvania in the following night, and it's incredible what's going on. I feel so good.
Have you had a test since your diagnosis a week ago?
Well, what we're doing is probably the test will be tomorrow, the actual test, because there's no reason to test all the time. But
he hasn't been tested, or he's tested positive.
I didn't go into it greatly with the doctors. We have these great doctors at Walter Reed, and you do rely on them. They're really fantastic talents, and they came in from Johns Hopkins also, and other places. You know, when you're president, I never saw so many doctors looking over me. I think I'm the most analyzed human being in the world right now. But we have the head people at, not only Walter Reed, which is incredible with the job they do, but also Johns Hopkins and other hospitals. And I think they're amazed at how quickly this went.
Right? He's just rambling now.
Let me ask you the
where was it? Did I miss the coughing? Oh, okay. Here we go. It's a separate clip.
I didn't even want to use them. You know, last time I had a big problem. They oscillated my mics when I had the one debate. We had 3 debates with Hillary, and on I think the first debate, on the first debate they oscillated the mic, and they oscillated it very, very seriously, and they actually apologized to me.
In 2016.
And I said, "What's this all about?" They were Clinton people. Yeah. And I said, we ought to just do the debates ourselves, John. We ought to just do it ourselves. And I pick, I'm the president.
What does he mean, do it himself?
Just do it ourselves. Pick some good anchor.
But there he was coughing on the air with Sean Hannity.
Well, I didn't even want to use them. Last time I had a big problem. They oscillated my mics when I had the one debate. We had 3 debates with Hillary. And on, I think, the first debate, on the first debate, they oscillated the mic.
So, as I've been saying, we are on
Trump dies of COVID watch.
It certainly seems like he's still sick, even though he says he's going to go out and do events. We will see what happens. Now, he was really feisty when he was on Rush Limbaugh earlier today. And he started dropping F-bombs. Or an F-bomb, I guess. I'd be exaggerating if I said bombs.
Right. And Iran knows that, and they've been put on notice. If you fuck around with us, if you do something bad to us, we are going to do...
Exactly, droid rage.
Done before. Right. And Iran knows that, and they've been put on notice. If you fuck around with us, if you do something bad to us, we are going to do...
He isn't on the internet. He isn't on fucking a stream like we are. This is fucking terrestrial radio in syndication. But I mean, what are they going to do? Is the Federal Communications Commission going to fine the sitting president of the United States? I kind of doubt it.
Never been done before. Right. And Iran knows that, and they've been put on notice. If you fuck around with us, if you do something bad to us, we are going to do things to you that have never been.
He's just making threats. Apparently, he's going to be on Tucker Carlson tonight to prove that he's in good health. And I've thought about, do I need to stay on the air? Are we going to watch this? So this was the latest piece I could find right before we came on. Doctor evaluating Trump on Fox once wrote about the long history of presidents hiding health issues. Well, that's true. Did they seek out the expert? on hiding health issues in order to bring him on Fox. This motherfucker really is sick. And as I said last night, with the time frame, we're looking at sometime next week. If he's gonna croak, that's when it's gonna happen, like this weekend into next week. It took Herman Cain a month, but we don't actually know when the president was infected. And it's possible that he was the infected one at the event at the Rose Garden. I can't stand him either. But I really want to see Trump go. But my fear is it's going to be like the last segment of the show that they got to keep everybody around. So they're going to wait until the end to bring him on. So I don't know if I want to stay on the air and watch it. Because it will be, Tucker comes on in a half an hour, I think. I don't know, is Tucker's show streamed? Am I going to be able to... You already have a headache. Just talking about watching Tucker Carlson gives you a headache. Absolutely. That would make you a normal person. So the evaluation would not even reportedly happen with a person who is with Trump in person. So it's going to be like a fucking Zoom call with a physician. Like, this is just an absolute piece of state propaganda. But I wonder what is it... Surely they're not going to do it live. If they do it live, he'll cough on air. It's just watching this circus. And he says he's going to have a public event tomorrow at the White House. Despite the fact that it most certainly has not been 14 days. His first official public event since his hospital discharge. Of course he's going to talk about law and order. Of course, that's exactly what his remarks are going to be on. Because his people are only the best people. And they are all for law and order, right? Just like this nurse in Williamson, West Virginia, who was invited to speak at the RNC. Or was invited to the RNC, maybe not to speak. I might have misspoke. Later invited to... Oh, no, she was invited to speak at the White House and the Republican National Convention. She was praised early on for her response in COVID, for going from Williamson, West Virginia to New York to treat patients. But she got into an argument with another woman in her front yard and shot her. Just went to her car and got a gun and shot her. And Thorne apparently is a alias or something. Luckily, her victim is going to be okay. Or no, Thorne, who also goes by her maiden name. Oh, she made a video that went viral in April. Did you just type out the DSM? No, I'm joking. That motherfucker's... But it has made her a better person in the end, she told Trump. Oh, the roid rage. Yes, indeed. That's what he's going through right now. I called it on Monday after I heard like the tweet storm he went on, and the remarks that he gave in front of the White House after he walked up the steps. So this is a sheriff in Michigan. I'm sure another one of those awesome Trump supporting law and order types.
Do you have any regrets from being on stage, sharing stage with the guy who's now being charged in a plot to kidnap the governor?
Well, it's just a charge, and they say a plot to kidnap, and you got to remember that, are they trying to kidnap? Because a lot of people are angry with the governor. And
a sheriff said that.
Trying to arrest, or was it a kidnap attempt? Because you can still, in Michigan, if it's a felony, you can make a felony arrest. And I think it's MCL 764.4 or something like that, 0.5, somewhere around there. And it doesn't say if you're an elected office that you're exempt from that arrest. So I have to look at it from that angle, and I'm hoping that's more what it is. In fact, these guys are innocent until proven guilty, so I'm not even sure if they had any part in it.
I mean, that motherfucker is absolutely probably a part of one of those groups. There's no doubt about it. He's taken up for them. Nobody else gets that kind of judgment. Especially not if you're some sort of minority. But, like, just poor Joe on the street, they don't get treated like that by the cops. That's an awful lot of kid gloves he had on there. But they're shameless. You can't call them out on their hypocrisy. And cops are always getting preferential treatment. Like the cop that killed George Floyd. Out on bond, and now has been allowed by the judge to leave the state for safety reasons. I think for safety reasons, you should have kept his ass in jail. I think he might be a threat to the public. So I am insulted by the fact that a judge said he could, not only that he could bond out on, I think it was a $2 million bond. So he probably had to pay 10%. So he put up $200,000, which the fucking police union probably paid for him. Or some other fucking fundraiser. Now remember, George Floyd was accused of passing like a $20 bill. Which even if it was a forged $20 bill, who knows if like maybe it came into his hands through somebody else. You don't know that he was the one passing a forged bill. That's been speculated. I haven't heard any more. Apparently they worked at the same club together. So that gives you intent. I mean, at least they charged him with murder. Yeah, they worked at the same club as a bouncer. It's a video that pisses me the fuck off. All right.